Okay, let's run.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings, salutations. This is indeed, and I quote, a weekly show where we introduce you to some of the best creators from all over the world, and we find out more about them by taking your questions. Most importantly, I am your host, Ryan of And I Quote channel, and our guest on this week's episode is indie writer extraordinaire, joining us from his mobile studio out on the don't worry, he's parked. He's not actually, driving 100 miles an hour down the highway. Scott Hatfield is in the building. Hello, good sir. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, we're fine. We're all fine here. No, thank you. How are you? We thank you for being here, Scott. We also thank you for being here, maybe watching or listening to this program right now. So do not forget to like and share. If you're watching us live or what is known as a replay, thank you so much. Can't do it without you. And if you have any questions for our guest of honor, Scott Hatfield, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. We will get to those as soon as we can. With that being said, Scott, do you have any favorite books or writers while you were growing up?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I grew up, what really kind of got me into reading was the Harry Potter series with J.K. Rowling. I think anybody of my age really, really loved those books. They fell in love with it. They fell in love with the story. But as I grew up, reading the Hardy Boys and C.S. Lewis and the Chronicles of Narnia, I then started discovering Tolkien. I think it's every fantasy writer's they call him the grandfather of fantasy. Everyone loves him and respects what he's written, and we all try to attain what he did, but, we'll all fall short.
Yeah, hard to live up to those legends.
Yeah.
With all due respect, do you? What would you say are some of your favorite TV series, past or present?
Ooh, TV series. I would say so when I grew up, one of the most interesting shows that I found was Dinotopia. I don't know if you remember it, but
no, I'm not familiar with this one.
Yeah, so it's like brothers. They crashed into this. They crash landed into this world where it was built around dinosaurs, and humans and dinosaurs kind of meshed together. Graphics were bad. It was like a 70s sci-fi, but in the 2000s. So. I really liked that. Other than that, I really didn't watch a lot of TV. It was mainly sports and being outside, doing my other extracurricular activities that I love, like backpacking and hunting and fishing and you name it. That's what I was doing instead of really watching TV.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, whatever suits your fancy. Do you have any favorite movies that stand out to you?
Obviously, again, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I know we're really getting far away from things. Movies.
Yeah, could be any of them.
That's really difficult. Again, so I grew up with my grandfather who didn't really allow us to watch TV or movies. So I don't know. I had more of a rural upbringing, being outdoors, so it's really hard to find those movies that really stand out. I mean, sure, you have a lot of comedies. I'm a Will Ferrell fan. I like a lot of his. I'm not too much into like the action adventure or the action packed ones like modern day. I do like a lot of fantasy movies. But other than that, I spend more of my time outdoors. So
all good. You're the poster boy for Bass Pro Shop. No, I'm just kidding. Which there's a few of them around here where I'm from on the East Coast of America. So it tends to you run into them every once in a while. I've seen them. They're nice places actually. Lots of things to explore at Bass Pro Shops for those of you who are familiar with the shop or the brand of that nature. But with that being said, though, when did you start writing?
Oh, so I started writing probably
Yeah.
in my early teens, and it was nothing really good. It's kind of how I've cultivated the book that I wrote recently. Um, but it was just small little fantasies, again, like mysterious islands and um, adventure stories. And then it progressed into me writing music as I, you know, doom and gloom teen teen years. And so then it turned into writing music and uh, then touring with my band and just, doing that. And then it kind of fell away after I joined the military in about 2012, 2013. And I didn't really have it until I met my wife. And she's like, I'm going to write a book. And I was like, I wanted to write a book once. And this was about 3 years ago. And she wanted me to tell her about it. And so I did, and I spun my idea, a very fractured version of it. And she's like, what, you should turn that into a story. That sounds pretty good. I mean, I would read it. And this came after tearing my ACL in the backcountry backpacking. Believe it or not. And so I was kind of going to be grounded for 6 months to a year in rehab and after surgery. And so, thus I had a desk job, working in corrections, and couldn't do anything. So I was monitoring cameras. And then when people are sleeping, you don't really have much to do overnight, right? And so I took that time and started writing and cultivating my book. And that's kind of when this process really took form. And then I had a bunch of friends beta read it, and they said, what, you could sell this.
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry about your ACL injury, though, but you know, things happen when you get the call of the wild.
Yes.
There's a famous book right there. Jack London, anybody?
Yeah, good.
He's been around for a couple hundred years. Sorry, it was one of the titles that was mentioned in my classes when I was growing up in school. But
Yeah.
among other pieces of classic literature that I'm sure Scott here has heard about during his time. But no, I got it. That's a heck of a journey, though, to start here and end up with beginning writing and all that kind of jazz. What would you say are some of the rewards about being a writer?
Oh, for me, it was really channeling a lot of those feelings that I had got from serving in the military and growing up, and channeling it into 5 different characters, which will come down to figuring out who is the main character, right? And so I put a little bit of me in every single character, and uh, kind of like the personalities that I have. Um, and so getting to channel everything that I've seen, done, heard, smelt, felt, um, you know, putting that in there and getting it out and getting closure on chapters of my life, that has been the most rewarding. Other ones is being able to engage with people across the world. Some of my biggest base is in Australia, New Zealand, England, specifically the south coast in Portsmouth. I have a big following there, and then I have a couple of people up in Glasgow and up in Scotland that really just kind of help me out whenever I'm posting things. And then, of course, right here in Utah, where I'm at, I have quite a big cult following. uh, no pun intended there. So yeah, that's that.
That's all. That's awesome sauce, man. Have fans all over the country, all over the world. It's fantastic,
Yeah.
as one might say. Flip side of the coin, though, what would you say are some of the challenges about being a writer?
Well, now that I don't work in that position where I'm working overnight in a desk, finding time to write, and then being able to find time, not find time, but find ways to make my writing not sound like others, and try not to have other stories influence my own. while also keeping true to my ideals and my values, and making sure that they stay on track, and then continue building the middle. So I have a great beginning and a great end. Now, what do I do with the filler? That's the hardest part, right? Is that filler, and then getting from point A to point B without bogging it down with uh with 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 substance that doesn't belong there.
Gotcha. Some meat that doesn't necessarily need to be on the bone
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
story. Maybe that's a way to express it. Sorry, I'm trying to come up with these on the fly. It's called improv.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm good at it. Sometimes I'm not. Depends on who you depends on who you ask on a week-to-week basis in the studio on the show. But that does make sense. The timing, finding the time is extremely difficult. No matter what position you're in, if you have a full-time job, you have other commitments, you have a spouse, children, house, whatever. It's a lot to take in, right? It's a lot to take in. So, what advice would you offer aspiring writers out there?
First, I don't know if something's going on with the audio. It kind of was reverberating. So,
Yeah. You sound like you're reverberating, or some feedback there, buddy. Sorry.
okay. I don't know what that is. I'm in a pretty local location, but you said what for other people that are aspiring.
Oh yeah, my question was, what advice would you offer to aspiring writers out there? Was the question.
Okay. Just do it. I know everybody says this, right? But everybody's story is going to suck. Everybody's story is going to look like some individual who has no business writing is writing a story, right? Your first draft is not going to be perfect. Now, as somebody who had a 4.0 in college and writing papers under deadlines and submitting my first draft, do not submit your first draft when it comes to your book, right? Take the time to craft it. Get your ideas out on paper, or in Google, or whatever you're writing on, right? Just get it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Take a few weeks off. Go do something else that you love. Then circle back in a few weeks and go through it. Print it off. I always, it's kind of seen as wasteful to some people. I don't like staring at screens all day, so I print off my book and I read it. And then I go through and I line edit, and then I take sticky notes, or I take out just blank pieces of paper and I write down the filler and how we can better make these scenes sound better. And then I'll go back and edit it after I'm done finishing the book, because at the time maybe that information that I'm trying to put in isn't that great, and I can reread it and go, what the heck was I thinking? This doesn't even go along with it. Or ooh, what word can I choose better? How can I enhance this? Enhance the scene, or enhance this book. And so it's just a lot of going through and taking breaks and meticulously going through it and constructing and reconstructing. And I'll usually do that. Like my first book, I have 25 drafts now, and I published it at 22 drafts. So still, even after you publish your book, you're still going to need to go back and revise it and fix it. And no matter how many times you do the process, there's always going to be work. Writing is a work in progress, and it's something that just never ends.
Good pointers for sure. And well put as well. Great advice for anybody who's out there who's interested in becoming a writer. Once again, we are here on And I Quote with Scott Hatfield, our guest of the week. Don't forget to like and share. If you're watching us live on the replay, thank you so much for doing so. If you have any questions for our guest of honor, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. So with that being said, let's take a look at this here. So the Shadow of Cáelunárra. I'm going to butcher this. So is it Caelunarra? How do you say it?
Oh, it's called The Shadow of Cáelunárra.
Yes, there it is. So what exactly is this, and how did this story come about?
So for me, it was a lot of things that I always wanted to write about, and I took a lot of my stories that actually my mom found, she kept, and in these binders. And as she brought them to me, I started reading through them. I was like, I could combine all these together and make one super story. So I originally planned to write a trilogy, and each book was going to be about 1,200 pages long because I wanted a really meaty book. I like meaty books. I think they're good. But in working with editors, not only just myself, but content, people who work on content, they're like, your first book has 3 books in it, maybe a fourth. And at that time, I had already started working on my second book, and it was about 800 pages I had to read. So now I've split it up, and now I've got about 5 books, and I'm not even halfway through the story yet. But what I wanted to do was focus on real people and what normal individuals could do in extraordinary experiences or circumstances. And so I crafted this around 5 kids from rural Utah that are growing up in the present day who live kind of a sheltered life. Um, and that doesn't come apparent until subsequent books as we do flashbacks back and forth and as they talk about things in this new world that they come to. And from there, the rest is history and what happens and how they conduct themselves, and will the darkness get them, or will they overcome the darkness, or or will they be consumed by it?
Okay, interesting. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. There's no question about it. And thank you for sharing that with us. Fantastic. I like the cover too. Very unique in that sense. Yeah, like that cover. Have there been any special memories for you from being at book signings or other events, whether you're there as a vendor or there as an attendee?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't been to any events yet. It's something that I really wanted to do. There was an event recently here in Utah where Brandon Sanderson was the keynote speaker, and unfortunately, I got wrapped up into work and couldn't go, and I just gave my tickets to somebody else. But it was something that I was looking forward to going to and setting up a place to sell my book. I didn't ultimately get to be able to do it. It's something that I plan on doing in the future. I just haven't, due to other circumstances, I haven't had a chance to actually get out there and promote it as I should.
Oh, gotcha. Understood. Well, what is one book that belongs on everyone's bookshelf that is not one of your own? In other words, one that you've written.
Ooh. Oh man. For me, I really like The Count of Monte Cristo. It's a big, right? Everyone who sees it on our bookshelf at our house is like, "What the heck is that book?" And I'm like, "You should read it. I really like the story, and I don't want to give it away for people, but I just really love the characters and how well it's written. And if you haven't read it, go get it. It's a classic. It's an oldie, and it's well worth the read."
Yeah, you're the third. I think you're probably the third or fourth person who's brought up the Count of Monte Cristo on this show, because a very good friend of ours, Terrence Lehue, who's a men's adventure fiction writer, he writes stories that are set, somewhat in modern day. Other stuff he's writing, and I believe it's presented in the 1920s after the events of World War I. It's called Mitch Mayhew. It's the Mitch Mayhew series is what it's called. He's gone on record by saying that his number one favorite book, I believe, of all time, and Terrence, I believe you said this, is in fact The Count of Monte Cristo. I mean, a few other people have been on this show recently, and they've also said, hey, I hear The Count of Monte Cristo is a great book. I think more people should read it, So The Count of Monte Cristo, Terrence, if you're listening to this, we're getting more points here for your camp of The Count of Monte Cristo, written by Alexander Dumas, just in case anyone's wondering. So well done. I've heard it's a classic. Don't worry. One of these, I am going to get a copy of it. I'm going to put it on my TBR shelf, and I will read it at some point. It will happen, folks. It will happen. The Count of Monte Cristo, I hear, is one of the best books ever written. So I got to sit down and just dedicate the time, the energy, and the willpower to read this thing. So I got you. The Count of Monte Cristo. We've written it. It's been written down in our notes here in the studio. It's figuratively, maybe not literally, but maybe figuratively, it has. So just putting it out there, Terrence. Who is an author, living or dead, you would love to have a conversation with?
It will always have to be Tolkien. As a combat veteran, between the two of us, both of us having lived that life in two different eras of wars, I'd love to sit down and just discuss life and human values, and not even writing per se. I would just love to sit down and just discuss life. I mean, he was married to his wife for a very long time. He went to Oxford. I went to Oxford. We both studied at the same school at Pembroke College in Oxford, and I've kind of followed this trajectory like he has, but in the modern day era. And I would just love to discuss human life with him, because I feel like he was a wealth of knowledge and lived experience that we lost when he passed.
Yep, true pioneer, great writer for what I've been told, and one of the most iconic names in the history of reading, books, writing, and literature, all the things rolled in one. But great answer. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Gandalf, there's a line for you. Lord of the Rings, kick it old school. The Lord of the Rings as a movie franchise turns 25 this year, believe it or not, because Fellowship of the Ring was released originally in the year 2001. So go figure. We're going to have to do a Middle-earth marathon of the trilogy. Yes, the extended cuts. I know. We'll have to get to that at some point. I did. I mean, I haven't seen all three of the extended cuts. I've seen Fellowship of the Rings extended cut, and I really like it. And even before I saw the extended cuts, Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite of the trilogy. So there you go. Nothing wrong with that. One ring to rule them all. With that being said, I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much to Scott Hatfield for being our guest on this week's episode of And I Quote. Sorry about the little bit of technical difficulties we've been having throughout bits and pieces of this episode, but thank you for being here, Scott. Thank you for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule. Now, if someone wants to know more about you or purchase copies of your book, where can they follow you?
So you can find me on Facebook. That's definitely where I have my biggest following. It's on Scott Hatfield, the author. The same handle for Instagram is Scott Hatfield, the author. And then over on X, I have a little, I'm not really on there all the time, but it's Scott Hatfield, author. You can also go purchase my book on Amazon. That's probably where you're going to get it the cheapest. Other places have racked up the price to make their cut, so Amazon is the best place to go support me. And just look for the Shadow of Cáelunárra, or just look for Scott A. Hatfield Jr., and it should pop up. And I have a link on my socials to go and do that, so you can find it. I'm pretty responsive there. I've kind of taken a hiatus to focus on myself and other personal goals right now. So I will be getting back involved on my author pages come May. So if you want to talk to an author who's very engaging and who will answer all your questions, and I even run a business on the side to help aspiring authors with writing. My wife and I have a business, so yeah, just reach out to me. I'm a pretty personal guy. I don't care who you are. I love to have you.
Awesome sauce. Well, thank you so much, sir, for being here. We wish you all the best of luck with everything going on, and the best of luck with your book, your continuing series, your writing, all that jazz. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. We appreciate it. Be safe out there, and we'll catch you on the flip side, good sir. You take care now. So you are free to roam about the country there, Scott. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your weekend, and please be safe out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan of And I Quote Channel. Follow me across all forms of social media, simply at And I Quote Channel, where I'm pointing to below my name tag here. That's where you can follow me and follow us across all forms of social media more specifically. And then I also want to let you know that we are getting close to 5,000. Once we do, we'll have a live stream that will include special giveaways that you, the person who's watching or listening to this right now, are going to be eligible to win. So support the channel. Check us out. We also have merch that's on sale because of changing of the seasons. We have shirts, hoodies, stickers you can add to your water bottles, coffee mugs, stationery, notebooks, all kinds of wonderful things in our Redbubble store. Once again, links are in our social media bios and located in my link tree, which is linked in the video description down below. If you do want to check out a copy of that book that we were talking about earlier, written by Scott Hatfield, links to where you can follow him and purchase copies of his books are located in the description of this video. So make sure you check that out. Don't forget, we have a brand new show that's coming your way on April the 11th on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's called The Shadow Council. It's going to be our after show for the new television series Maul Shadow Lord, which is going to be dropping on Disney Plus starting Monday, April the 6th, I want to say. But our show is going to be on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to go over the show, share our thoughts, our feelings, all that jazz. And we invite you to join us if you're a Star Wars fan, or if you're a new Star Wars fan, or if you're just curious about sci-fi adventure. Check us out. It's called The Shadow Council. It's going to be a lot of fun. And just to give you a programming reminder, movie watch-alongs are on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and Anti-Quote is on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, unless otherwise specified. And we also have some special forms of programming that we like to do ever so often on the weekends. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when the videos go live. Don't forget to check out my short story, Wolf of the West, which was published in the anthology called Western Tales Volume 1, published by Veritas Entertainment. You can purchase that in ebook, paperback, or hardcover on Amazon.com. So saddle up. Check it out. You may find yourself enjoying the genre known as the Western. And thank you so much for being a part of this episode of Anti-Quote. We will see you again Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's some great creators and books out there, but you don't have to take my word for it.
Choose high-flying action. Choose death-defying escapes. Choose spine-tingling thrills. Choose nail-biting intrigue. Now's your chance to choose the adventure. The Captain Hawkland Adventures. Available on Amazon.com.
Good morning! Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.